Hello, humanoids! Welcome to another edition of Garhead Kingdom. I am now in the Azores. It's kind of crazy. My fourth great grandfather and grandmother were born here, so I felt compelled to go, and it's also my honeymoon with my partner, so we are here. But I just went to the secondhand shop and got this really cool canvas. So I'm planning on painting over it and putting something awesome on it. We'll see how it goes. I'm hoping to do also a portrait of my partner while I'm on this trip. So the first step I'm going to do is, this is a little bit dusty, so I'm going to give it a clean, wash it off. I had plans to do a resin pour, but I don't know where to find epoxy resin here, so let's get started. Okay, so I cleaned off the painting and now I want to start throwing some paint on it. I went to the art store here and I got the primary colors, blue, yellow, red, and then I also wanted to get black and white, but they didn't have black and white, so what I had to get was like a pearlescent white, and then there was like a really dark blue. So I'm hoping that I could maybe mix some other colors with dark blue, make it like extra dark. I don't know. I mean, I'll make it work. I just need a dark color that I can mix to because basically I need a color that I can mix up with and a color that I can mix down with for mixing colors in general. And then we'll see what we can do with that. Let's get started. All right, we are in a new place. Dan and I had to transition from the old place we were at, so that's why everything looks different. There was like a leak in the ceiling, so we had to find a different place to stay. But on the painting, the next step is to go through and start laying out the line work and kind of figuring out where the face, the eyes, the nose, the mouth, and some of the details are going to be. And so I'm going to go in with line work. I usually do this in chalk, but I don't have chalk. And I have pens, but I might use a little bit of Sharpie, but I don't know. I might just go in there with paint and then just make it work with paint. Because I don't want to have to deal with like trying to cover up a bunch of really dark pen lines. So I'm gonna go in there with some paint, start figuring out where all the face parts are gonna be, and then the next step after that is we'll start shading. So let's get started. Well, hello. Hello and welcome back. So it seems like it hasn't been a long time to you guys, but for me it's almost been 2 months since I last filmed for this episode, because we were in the Azores like over a month ago. We've just been back in town kind of like being broke to be honest. But I wanted to tell you guys, I wanted to fill you in on how I brought this painting back here, and I want to continue working on it, but I think this episode is already pretty long and I have to post it like tomorrow, so I'm kind of behind. I like prioritized some self-care and like organizing and cleaning in like my space, and over basically like doing a bunch of work on this and stressing about this episode. But I did want to show you guys the painting. And so what I did was I ended up I had like a little pair of scissors that I brought with me to the Azores, and so I cut the canvas off of the stretcher bars, the like wooden like planks, or I don't know, boards, I don't know what you would want to call them, but I cut the canvas off of the wood and rolled it up, and I just took it as like a carry-on. And on the process of getting it here, I think that the paint that was the underlayer, like the original paint, I think that some of it was just very old on the canvas, and so it like almost like cracked, and like because I had to bend it, I had to like roll it up, you know, and I'm like traveling with it, and so all of the old paint was just like very sad, and I'll show you. But I'm thinking what I want to do is sit down with Dan again and really get some of those details. So maybe I'll do an episode that's like little like detail, maybe even just like an like an ASMR like detail painting episode. Kind of sounds nice. So if you're interested in that, in the comments let me know. Anyways, I'm just gonna keep trucking along on this painting, and thank you for watching thus far, and thank you for being here. Okay, so I just wanted to show you guys what I was talking about. This canvas cracked a little bit down here on the bottom. This is where most of the chipping happened in the travel. And it looks like a little bit here and around the edges. And also what I did was I used a staple gun and I just like kind of stretched it as much as I could. It's really like the stretch job on this is not that great because of the fact that the canvas, the original canvas that I got at the secondhand shop in the Azores, was pretty old, I think, and dry. And so I didn't want to rip it, and it did rip a little bit, like right over here, it kind of ripped. Anyways, I was lucky. I had this extra stretcher bar, and I think this stretcher bar is way more, it's like much wider than the original canvas, the original stretcher bar that this painting was on. So this is kind of like, I want to call it like a hack job, because like it's just kind of like brutal around the edges, which honestly kind of makes sense for Dan. But I'm thinking of also like painting this exposed, here I'll show you. So as you can see, it did travel pretty well. I would say having only like a crack at the bottom, and really that stuff was all really old paint that was pretty much exposed. And the thing is, it cracked and I was able to collect it, so I still have it, and I could probably use it for resin works later on. So this piece and this episode is done for now.